on Community Cooking. We have one of our favorite chefs back in the kitchen. Chef Lavia is here to marry two of my favorite cuisines together. We're making Mexican-Greek fusion today. Greek fish tacos, Greek-style ceviche, and watermelon margaritas. We're cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community, so grab a seat and get comfortable. We have another great meal for you. This is your Community Cooking. Welcome to Community Cooking. I'm your host, Maria Prekagis, and I'm always excited to have guest chef, caterer extraordinaire, Chef Lavia in the house, as we like to say. So glad you're here.
So happy to be here, always.
I love it when you come here because it's always yummy, it's easy, and very colorful.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
That's a great meal right there.
Well, and I love today, a little Greek, a little Mexican. I'm Greek, what the heck?
And I love Mexican food, so I love Greek food, so I thought, why not combine them?
So we're going to start with the fish tacos. So talk about what kind of fish and where we can find it.
You can get your fish anywhere you normally buy your fish, at your fishmonger, store. Sometimes they even have a guy at the farmer's market who has a truck out there. Sometimes we'll have fresh fish for you. Really, just whatever fish you like. Nice firm fish, lighter flavor I like for fish tacos.
Okay.
So you can kind of taste everything else.
And what's this?
This is some tilapia here.
Okay.
Which I like. It's just got a nice flavor. It's very mild. It fries nicely. It fries quickly.
And not super expensive.
Not super expensive, and actually really low calorie, to be quite honest. Like one of those little fillets is about 80 to 100 calories.
Oh, well, then I'll have three.
Well, and we're going to fry it too, so it makes up for it.
Well, it does. You know, you got to pick your battles.
You do.
So we have the fish.
Yeah, and then we have our typical breading station here. So you have some flour, you have some beaten egg, you have some panko. We're going to, instead of tortillas, we're actually going to serve those on some flatbreads.
I was going to say, these don't look like normal tortillas.
Yeah, we're going to do some flatbreads. We have stuff to make our tzatziki sauce.
My sister and brother-in-law, and he's very Greek, they call it jiggy jiggy sauce.
But that should have a dance.
If
you say that, you have to dance when you say that.
We do at her house in Seattle. I'm not going to give it to you right now, but yeah, it's a little
after that margarita,
jiggy,
I might be able to get it out of you.
So what should we start? And then the ingredients for the tzatziki, what do you put in it?
I do the Greek yogurt, obviously, and you want the whole milk Greek yogurt. Don't skimp on it.
Okay.
And get the non-fat or 2%. I like it holds up better like that.
Okay.
And for a couple days, and then I used to put lemon in my tzatziki, and I actually switched to white vinegar.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
I found it just has a little bit less of a sour component.
Okay.
But more tang. And really you just need that kind of acid in there to loosen up the yogurt. I put garlic in there, and what I actually do, and I put olive oil in there just to give it a little more richness. Yeah. I'll do all that ahead of time, like the day before or early that morning if I'm having it for dinner, because the longer you can let the garlic sit in the yogurt, it kind of mellows the garlic out. So you're not getting that, you're getting the flavor of garlic.
More potent.
No, it mellows it. It takes that sharp bite out. You're still getting the garlic flavor, but it doesn't have that sharp kind of...
Too much.
Yeah.
Because you still have to talk to people after.
Yeah. And then for the cucumber, I also start this at the same time I do get the sauce ready. And I take the seeds out and shred it up and put it in a paper towel and let it drain so all the water comes out.
Yeah, that's smart.
And then that way you're not ending up with a watery tzatziki sauce. And then I'll add the...
See, you love saying it.
I do. But I got to try it your way. And then you just add the cucumber and fresh dill at the last minute.
Yeah.
And then you can let it sit in your fridge. Seriously, if I have that on hand, I will put it on everything.
Well, let's get started now. You have some oil on the stove.
We have just some canola oil here. Getting it, thank you. You want to get it up to about 350, 375 degrees. You can always test it by, dipping a little corner of the fish in it or something.
Oh, okay.
But you can see right now it's nicely bubbling. You don't want to get it so hot, though, that it fries out like it blackens the outside of the fish before the inside's done. So just check your temperature and you got to regulate it when you fry. You can't just leave it alone.
Yeah.
So always season before you start breading, because that way it gets the fish, it gets flavor on it.
Now, what about people who say season in the breading?
You can. I don't feel like that gets enough seasoning on the fish for me. I like my fish seasoned.
I'm like, I can't remember which order.
And so that's why
Flour, egg, panko?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I season the fish directly.
Okay.
And then it's just easier. And we'll just do up 2 today since it's just you and I eating.
Yeah, don't hear. The crew might have just heard you, you know. All right, so
make
flour.
extra.
I know, you always do.
So just a really simple breading here.
That tomato does not want to stay up there.
I always
There we
keep one hand as my breading hand because you end up with Play-Doh on your fingers.
You do when you're dealing with that. And panko breadcrumbs are so much lighter. It used to be a very Asian thing. Now everyone's using it.
Yeah, and I love it. I love panko.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, dip your just standard breading procedure: flour, egg.
Standard breading
Yeah.
procedure is.
That needs to be an announcement.
I know, the announcement on the fly. Next up is our standard breading procedure, but it is. You make things simple and fun.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I
I
love.
mean, cooking should be. It shouldn't be complicated. So you just drop a little bit of breadcrumb in there, and you can see it's ready to go.
And not your hands, just
Not your
the
hands.
fish, please.
If you want to keep your fingers intact.
Yes, that would be nice. And you like what kind of oil for something like this?
I usually fry everything in canola oil.
Okay.
I like the cleanliness of it. It can hold the temperature well without smoking and getting funky. I mean, you could also use veggie oil, which is a flavorless oil. Just something that's flavorless. You never want to fry in olive oil, though.
Which I heard, which I was like, what? Because that's what my grandmother did. She'd make homemade French fries and olive oil, but that was just what they used. That's all they had.
Well, and it's okay to do like in small batches, but it doesn't have a high smoke point.
Okay.
So it can just burn and turn.
Burn it.
You know?
You don't want it burning and turning. Okay, I have a question because so many people now like coconut oil and avocado oil, and I think coconut oil actually adds a weird flavor to a lot of things.
It does. I mean, if you're gonna fry something in coconut oil, I would only do that if there's coconut in the recipe, and you want coconut to be the actual flavor.
Because people love it and use it all the time, and I'm like, I used it on my eggs, not so much, people, because I use a little like the spray pumps that they have now. And then avocado oil I find isn't bad, but like you said, this canola is good for high temps.
I would use, like, say, avocado oil or a specialty oil like that, I would use for salad dressing.
Okay.
Or like a finishing oil.
Yeah.
We can actually get all this stuff out of the way here.
Perfect. So, and it doesn't take very long for them to cook.
No, I
which
mean,
is
if it were a
great.
bigger fish, a thicker fish, and if you were really watching your calories, you could always, after you bread these, just throw them in the oven.
Oh,
like a
that's
nice-
great. I was going to say, because some people don't like to fry.
Just put it on get a sheet pan and put a rack on it so it doesn't sit. You want the,
Oh, okay,
you
you
want
want
the air to
okay,
circulate
to
around
circulate.
it. Put it in a 425 degree oven, and it'll crisp up nice, and you can avoid the fat of the oil. But since we're making fish tacos,
Yeah, everything else is super healthy. And
I want these fried.
like, if you're watching your calories, I watch mine go up every day.
You can watch your calories do a lot of things.
You can, you know.
It's a new spectator sport. There should be an Olympic event.
Oh, I would win. I would be gold medal watching your calories. Let me tell you. Doesn't always work on how many, like I said, but
So while that's going, we can get our tzatziki sauce ready.
jiggy sauce. See, and that's before
you're
the margarita.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, I'm telling you.
Well, when you say use full fat, because I usually do the non-fat when I'm just eating it, but I never thought of it not breaking down as much to use the full fat. And there's really not that much fat, and it's all protein.
No, I mean, it is. And it's yogurt, so it's,
Yeah.
and it's Greek yogurt. It doesn't have a lot of sugar in it.
No.
So it's a really healthy sauce, condiment, to be quite honest.
Well, and it's funny, I always buy yogurt, Greek yogurt, and it sits in my fridge. But here's my tip. For a dip, like a ranch dressing dip, you get that mix.
Yeah.
And instead of putting it in mayonnaise or sour cream, you put it in Greek yogurt. And then you get your protein and your vegetables, and it's almost like a meal.
It's perfect.
That is my little tidbit of an extra recipe.
I do love that ranch seasoning
Yeah.
in yogurt. I mean, it's just like you said, it's a great dip for vegetables. So we're just chopping up a couple pieces of garlic here, just by the way.
Now, could you use my method and get the chopped garlic at the store because I'm
You
lazy?
sure can.
Let's just be
There's
honest.
nothing wrong with that. I would so rather people take a little shortcut like that or do something. I mean, I have a jar of that in my fridge because there's times when you
That
don't have
ginger.
time or exactly.
Because ginger
Ginger is a lifesaver.
Well, and I'm always cutting myself when I'm trying to grate it, so.
So we just have 2 cloves of garlic. There's about 2 cups of yogurt there.
Okay.
And so for that amount of yogurt, I would just do about 2 cloves of garlic.
And that's the tip of the day, because you said do it overnight, have it set overnight, and it takes the garlic flavor not so strong and pungent.
Or at least first thing in the morning, you just
Yeah.
want to let it kind of, and we can take our fish out.
Fish looks awesome. And always set it on something to absorb the rest of the grease. I like that.
Here we go, that's almost done there. We can get back to our little friend garlic here. So yeah, just put this in overnight or even first thing in the morning. Get your garlic nice and minced.
I use a garlic press for a lot of things, because I don't like chunks of garlic.
Yeah, I can understand that, especially
just
something
me.
like this. But
Yeah.
again, letting it soak and sit in it overnight, or just as long as
crazy.
you can, it really does mellow out the garlic flavor. And sometimes garlic can, when you're cooking with fresh ingredients, things always taste a little bit different, and that's just why I like to tell people to learn how to taste your food. Taste as you go, because sometimes the garlic can be super, super pungent and
Yeah.
have that green sprout in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
I always
Is that
take
what
that
thing's
out.
called?
Yeah, it's the sprout coming out like an
Yeah.
onion.
Yeah.
And actually, that can make you nauseous.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't like it because it's a different color, so I just chuck it.
But it can actually make you nauseous.
Oh, weird. All right, so I mixed the garlic in. Look, I
You
did something.
did. So there's some white vinegar here, just some plain white vinegar, and just a couple of tablespoons here, just enough to loosen the.
Okay.
And I just like what the vinegar does as opposed to the yogurt. I mean the lemon.
I'm so excited to taste it. I don't think I've ever had it this way. Of course, one of my aunts or grandmothers could have made it this way, and I had no idea. But
Just a little bit of olive oil to increase the richness.
ooh, it looks cool.
And you just stir that up together and let it sit for, like I said, at least an hour or so, just to
Okay.
kind of
So
let
do
it
you
mellow.
let this set before you add the cucumber?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because then I let the cucumber drain. So while that's setting, the cucumber is actually doing its job and getting rid of its excess moisture. Because you don't want a sauce. I don't like my tzatziki
Tzatziki.
or my what is the
Jiggy.
jiggy sauce
We're gonna start some. Hashtag jiggy.
and dance. You have to have a
Yeah.
dance move for
Oh,
that.
yeah. So all right, that's nicely mixed.
And so for the cucumber, what I like to do is just you leave the peel on. And just
And
to
I
make
love either normal or I love English cucumbers.
Yeah,
'cause
those
I
are-
really like the peel on.
Yeah. But I like to leave the peel on for this because I think it gives a nice little bright greenness in the sauce.
Yeah. And it's super important to take the seeds out.
Yep.
I learned that the hard way.
And just kind of just do that.
And it's easy.
It's so easy. I mean,
Oh, that smells.
usually like foods like this, the more simple the preparation, it seems like the better it is.
Yeah.
And I just imagine people, cooking in Greece or in Mexico. They're not. It's not complicated stuff.
No.
It's very straightforward. It's very fresh. It's just highlighting the ingredients, really.
Well, and here's another word for you. Any ethnic culture, especially in Mexico or Greece, it's all about the family and the extended family. We call it pareja.
Mm-hmm.
So these women and my grandmother used to spend so much time in the kitchen, but there were always people running in and out and tasting, and it's all about the company and sitting down to the meal. So
Yes.
you don't want it overcomplicated.
And no one, I mean, when we're catering and stuff, that's what I really like to do because if it's just good and straightforward and, there's always so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Just the simpler you can do it, the better. I mean, I remember in elementary school, I went to a Catholic school, and to this day, the nun applied it to math. She was our math teacher. And she said, when in doubt, kiss. And I was like, okay, I'm in 6th grade.
Yeah, what are you doing?
We're
And
just,
you're not.
what are you teaching us here? But so then she, it's KISS with, little periods in between. Keep it simple, stupid. That was
Okay,
her.
a nun. I love that. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. I mean, this was said back in the 80s. You
Yeah.
probably wouldn't say that to a kid these days.
No, but it's cute, and just, you know what, that's why I love having you, because it's simple and I can go home and do it, and everyone should try it at home, obviously. So
And just really, keep your cooking as simple as possible. Have fun. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. If
Yeah.
it doesn't come out, they don't know.
yeah, that's awesome.
So we
then-
have our cucumber here. We just did a half for now.
Okay.
And if you're gonna,
and you
if you don't
shredded
have,
it on the little grater.
if you don't have time to let this drain overnight,
Yeah.
you can put it in an iron mesh strainer, line it with the paper towel, and all the water will soak out. Or you can just
Look at, I forget
But
that
look how much-
cucumbers and water, they have so much water in them.
And if you don't do, I mean, this is really a crucial step because if you don't do this, it just waters down your tzatziki sauce. So we're just going to pretend that this has been sitting here.
But no, that's still a lot of the liquid that you got out of it.
And you just add that, and you mix that in.
I'm a good mixer. That was my job growing up.
Good job.
I mixed. Even now, my sister and I will make, spanakopita, elaborate Greek dishes, and I do all the mixing and get dirty, and she makes it all beautiful.
And we're just going to add some fresh dill here. Not a lot, maybe a tablespoon or two, because I don't want it to be...
See, and I'm not a huge dill fan. I got too much of it growing up, I think.
And this recipe has definitely morphed over time. My tzatziki sauce.
Your jiggy jiggy?
My jiggy jiggy. I got to get that in my head.
I love it.
And so we'll just add this, right last minute. And if that, just let all these flavors kind of come together.
And can you use dried dill? You don't use as much when it's dry, correct?
You don't. And I would just...
Oh my gosh, that fresh is... I can smell it.
And we're just going to add a little pinch of salt if you want.
Okay. Pinch me. All right.
There you go.
Well, we're going to let this sit. We're going to clean up. When we come back, we're going to do the Greek shrimp ceviche, and then we're going to talk about your coleslaw that you serve with fish tacos. So don't go anywhere. You're watching Community Cooking.
Planning a dinner party? Figure out how much food you need with the Guestimator at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. If you're just joining us, I'm Maria Prekachis, and I'm here with one of my favorites, Jeff Lavia, and we're fusing Greek and Mexican cuisine.
Two of my favorites.
Well, they're two of my favorites. And I'm Greek. I never thought to fuse them together, because Greek is Greek.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, as my grandmother used to say. So we just made some awesome fish tacos, and now we're doing a Greek-inspired ceviche.
Yep. We got some shrimp right here, just some cooked shrimp. Whatever you can find. If they're really big, cut them up. These are smaller, so I just leave them whole.
Okay.
And it's just really simple. You just add those to your bowl.
And do you leave the tail on?
No, I took the tail off.
Oh, they are off.
And it's super easy to cook shrimp. In boiling water, just some salt and some sugar, we're good to go.
Sugar.
I like it. I think it highlights the sweetness of the shrimp.
Yeah, I was going to say, these are very sweet.
I mean, that's basically all that. I mean, it's just, you can cook it yourself or you can have someone pre-cook it.
Sweeter.
Yeah.
So this in a bowl. Look, I'm going to do something. And then capers?
We're going to add some capers, maybe like just a couple tablespoons, a couple spoonfuls of these. So you added the capers, and
Yes.
I've cut a cucumber up and seeded it, and we're just going to add some nice chunks of cucumber here.
Now, I have to interrupt. Would you add the caper juice or just the capers?
You can add a little bit. I don't mind that vinegary tang in there.
Oh, I love it. You could just eat it like soup.
Nice big pieces of cucumber in here, and I mean, cucumber is very Greek,
I mean, Greek salad, cucumber, tomato, and then whatever else you want to put in it. But it's cucumber, tomato.
Just really quick here.
And I like that you like to leave the skin on the tomatoes, whether it's an English cucumber or regular cucumber. I think that's...
I just think if you really wanted to get decorative, you could take a vegetable peeler
Oh, yeah.
and do
Make it
like
all
4 stripes down
Yeah.
the side, and that way it just gives a nice little visual appeal.
Or you can take a fork.
Yes, you can.
That's my
or
favorite.
a little zester.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many tricks.
Oops. So this is totally like Greek salad almost, but with fish, with shrimp.
And we're just going to cut up some nice hunks of fresh tomato here.
That tzatziki is haunting me. Oh, I can't wait to taste it with your vinegar instead of lemon juice.
Add some of these here. And we can add some fresh dill to that. We'll add a little more tomato.
Okay.
And then what I've done for this, instead of doing tortilla chips, I have some toasted pieces of flatbread there.
I love it because
So-
pita bread's so big in the Greek culture, and flatbread is a little more Mexican, maybe.
Well, I like it because it's a little thinner.
Yeah.
So, and I
Yes.
like the way it cooks up, and you're kind of getting bang for your buck because we use those as our taco shells.
Well, yeah,
So you're already going to have some on hand. You don't have to buy anything extra.
which is great.
So we have some nice big lemons here, and we're just going to.
See, and that's the trick. I always use the lemon squeezer because I'm too lazy to get my hands dirty and wipe them.
I usually do too.
But that's how you don't get seeds. They get caught in your hand. Oh, I love fresh lemon.
So you could actually make this if you wanted with some fish, and the citrus juices actually cooks the fish.
Yes.
But I like to start with the shrimp that's already cooked.
Well,
And that way you don't have to, because sometimes people get a little sketchy about that.
Yeah, no, they do. And I like you said, it's funny, whenever I use shrimp, if I do it in a stir fry or whatever, I like bite size.
Yeah.
So, and I always have big shrimp. I always forget to cut it after I cook it. I'm like, gosh, darn it. But these are already bite size, which is perfect.
We're going to add some fresh dill.
Oh,
And really, that's it.
that's so easy.
And we're a little pinch of salt just to
And I always got to
bring all those flavors
over the shoulders,
together.
right or left.
I forget which one it is, so I never do
both,
it.
just to cover myself.
I wouldn't want it to equate it out, though.
So alati and pipetti. There's some grandmother going, that's not quite right, Maria, but it's alati for salt and pipetti.
Do you speak Greek?
Ligaki pedimu, a little bit, darling.
Okay.
That's
I'm
all I got.
impressed.
Yasu, opa, there you go. Baklava. So that's all you do for that. We're
Yeah.
going to plate that up. Okay, I have to move this aside because can we talk watermelon margaritas? Yes, we can.
You know, I think of, another kind of Greek thing, maybe I'm wrong, but like watermelon. I think of like a watermelon feta salad.
Karpuzzi. You're learning all your Greek words today. Who knew I knew so much?
You know,
But
hey.
yes, that's a great salad that they make a ton.
So I figured let's do a watermelon margarita.
So you have watermelon sauce, juice I should say.
Super easy. So I took one of those little mini watermelons.
Yeah.
And you just cut it up and you put it in a blender. It probably yielded about 8 cups of chopped watermelon, so
Yeah.
it fills up your blender. I added maybe a half cup of water just to help it puree.
Yeah.
And then, puree it up. It comes out like this. And then taste it for sweetness. Sometimes watermelon's super sweet. You don't need any extra
Yeah.
sugar. Sometimes you need it, especially with a cocktail. You want it to have good, because this is what's going to flavor your cocktail.
Woo, that's good tequila. You know why? It doesn't smell like tequila.
And you could do this with vodka, but
that's good too.
I love tequila. I mean, I'll drink tequila.
Only good tequila,
Yeah.
which I never seem to have around, so I do a lot of vodka, but still. Oh my God. And then tell me about, while you're cutting up your lime, it's purple.
That is some blueberry sugar that I found at a little farm stand. And I was out driving around and found that.
Oh my gosh, that's so yummy.
So we're going to rim our cups in that, because blueberry and watermelon go really good together.
Well, and it has to be healthy. You have fruit, your great watermelon, and then blueberries and sugar.
So I like my margaritas on the rocks. I don't know about
Yes,
you.
me too. No blender needed.
And it's just extra dishes to do.
Well, yeah.
I'm putting about the juice of 2 limes in here in a cocktail shaker.
I'd actually use my cocktail shaker because when I do vodka, it's just straight on the rocks.
So
no
do
need
I.
to shake.
We're going to add some fresh mint to this.
Okay, and look at your fun ice cubes.
And we're going to do a quick muddle of this here, just to kind of get those,
Oh, I took your muddling spoon.
just to get these going here. Just, you muddle it, you
Yeah.
mix it in, it releases the oils. We'll get that nice mint flavor in there. Give that a smell.
Oh, yeah.
And you can always get your fresh herbs at the farmer's market too.
Well, I can't believe how easy the watermelon juice is.
So we're going to add, maybe just like a cup or so of this.
Okay.
Give it a little shake. Mix
Kind of
it
like
up.
the jiggy
Jiggy
sauce
jig-
shake.
there
It's
you
the
go.
shake. Oh, so other things are shaking there. I'm not so sure about that. Oh.
So you got some lime juice, some mint,
Okay.
some water. And the lime juice kind of just helps freshen it up and
Okay.
give a nice little tartness.
I just have my eyes on the tequila.
And we'll do, I don't really measure it. I just kind of count. Like 1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll only
That's-
take a sip or two. It's fun. 1, 2,
3, 4.
3. Oh, okay, 4.
And we got that. And we got our fun ice cubes
your ice.
here.
Those are huge. I love them. Oh, those are easy to take out.
And we got these. You know what you can do with these is if you fill them with distilled water, you can put we do this for parties all the time. If we're doing like a bridal shower or a baby shower, use distilled water and you can freeze flowers in there. And they look,
That's so cool.
or herbs, and the distilled water makes them clear so you don't get that cloudy ice.
So
And you can see the flowers in them. And it's just really pretty.
Well, while
Especially in like
he's shaking, we're going to take a quick break and plate everything up and taste it when we get back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Community Cooking.
Planning a dinner party? Figure out how much food you need with the Guestimator at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. All right, Jeff Lavia, the Greek Mexican fusion seems like it's working.
it's, how can it not?
What should we do first? Fish tacos?
Sure.
I'm going to put one on my plate.
I'm gonna
going
take
for
one
the
too.
messiest first. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
No, me either.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't think I was a tilapia fan. how you made it, that is so yummy. And your jiggy sauce
You like
with
that?
the dance, it's really yummy with the vinegar instead of lemon. I might like it more.
That's my favorite.
Sorry, Grandma. All right, now we have, I like how you serve it with the same type of chips.
Now we have food in our teeth.
I know, it's all right. Never talk with your, when you're chewing. The dill with the capers, I did not think would go together. But they bring each other out. It's just salty enough with the capers. And then, of course, anything Greek with lettuce and tomato. Now I really have food in my teeth. All right, ready? I'm ready for this. Blueberry sugar on the rim. Cheers.
Cheers.
And then, of course, you added the huge ice cube on it. Actually in it. Okay, first, the blueberry sugar with it, because the watermelon margarita is not as sugary as I thought it would be, because so many times I don't avoid margaritas because they're too sweet. I have to take a second sip.
And I didn't add any sugar to the watermelon juice. It was just watermelon. It was sweet enough for me.
Yeah, no,
and
it
the,
is.
And the lime juice kind of gives it that tartness and a little bit of sweetness.
But then just the sugar rim? Oh, sorry. Sip 3. Okay, that is so good. I mean, it's all delicious. I love it when you come here because it's easy, it's fresh, it's fun, and of course it's delicious.
Those are all my favorite things about food.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Always my pleasure.
And remember, we really do have some of the best chefs, case in point, right here in our own community. For Jeff, myself, and the entire crew, thanks for joining us on another great episode. And we'll see you next time on Community Cooking.
Cheers.
Cheers.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200, in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCityCable and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.